Good morning, students. Welcome you all to this online lecture series on intellectual property rights and patent systems. As you know, in the previous lecture we studied in detail various topics of the unit design rights, such as protection of trademarks, domain names, and geographical indications. So in today's lecture, we are going to do the revision of another very important unit, that is practical aspects of a patent. As you see on the slide, today we are going to study in detail drafting of a patent and also study few exercises on preparing an application seeking a patent. So the first topic of today's lecture is drafting of a patent. The very basic question that comes to our mind is that what are the basic requirements regarding drafting of a patent? So as per the standard literature available on patent systems, there are basically three requirements which are required to be fulfilled with respect to drafting a patent application. So what are those requirements? The first requirement is that there should be one patent application with respect to one invention or to a group of inventions. This means there should be a unity of invention. And the second invention requirement is that the description in the application should disclose the invention in a clear and complete manner. That means anyone from third party should be easily able to understand and evaluate it. So there should be simplified description of the invention which shows what is the invention, what is its background, and why it is needed. And the third requirement is that the application must have specific claims which determines the scope regarding protection of the invention. This means the claims must be clear and concise. So here it must be noted that this third basic requirement is very important because the claims are the basis of interpretation of a patent application or patent protection. So from these specified claims, any other person or third party can be able to know that what they can do and what they may not do by using this patent literature. So here it must be noted that in the description of the invention there can be series of paragraphs which may specify different features of the invention, and these paragraphs usually form the basis for independent claims regarding their inventions too. Let's understand this by taking an example. Suppose the invention relates to some form of mechanical object, such as some drawings, some illustrated plan, some elevation, or some sectional view of some object. Then in the description, the elements of the drawings are specified by some numbers, and these numbers are again followed by some sequence or parts which describes the visual form of that idea or invention. And now another very important question is that how to draft the title. Now it must be noted that the title should give a fair indication of the art or industry to which the invention is related. This means the title should be brief and precise. And there are many parameters which are not allowed in the title of the draft, such as the inventor's name should not be there in the title, the word patent should not be there, and the original word should not be used, the abbreviation etc. is not allowed, and fancy words such as Washwell soaps, universal easy patent chair, so these fancy words are also not allowed. So title of the draft should be very simple and precise as per the invention. Now let's study what are the important criteria for naming inventors in an application for patent. The inventors can be all persons who contributed directly towards the development of that patentable feature or that patent product. So they all can be specified as inventors in the application. Also, all those persons can also be the inventors who have made intellectual contribution in achieving the final results of the research work. But any person who contributed or helped in some other domain, as explained earlier, cannot be specified as inventor in the invention. Such persons can be that person who provided the idea but did not contribute intellectually or directly in the development of that invention. So that person cannot be specified as inventor. Now next important question is, where should one apply after drafting the application for patent? Now the answer to that is, the patent application should be applied to the respective patent office, which can be traced as per few criteria such as place of residence of the applicant or business location of the applicant. So it can be the place where the invention is actually originated or carried out. But in any case, the address of the applicant is permitted if he has no place of business. Now let's study what are the important steps involved in obtaining a patent. So these important steps can be many, such as to file a patent application, it should be accompanied with either a provisional specification or a complete specification. Now what are these specifications? We study these in detail in the next slide. Another important step is that all the accepted applications are published in Gazette of a Patent Office. So one must check out that from time to time. And the third important step is that the response of the Patent Office. That is, if response is satisfactory, then patent is granted. Else, objections are raised by the Patent Office. And in case of objections, one can modify his or her application by rectifying specified objections and can resubmit the application to the Patent Office. I hope you have now thorough understanding of this topic of drafting of a patent. Now let's move to the next slide for complete study of patent procedure by taking few exercises on preparing an application for seeking a patent. So the first question is, what are various documents that are required to be submitted along with patent application? And the answer to that is, there are many documents which are required to be submitted, such as, first of all, there should be one application for grant of patent. Then other important documents that are required to be submitted are provisional or complete specification of the patent along with all the drawings, then abstract of the invention, and another important document is declaration regarding inventorship or proof of patent right, and in the last, the patent application fee receipt. So these are the documents which are required to be submitted. Now let's study a few exercises on preliminary rules regarding preparing an application for seeking a patent. So there are basically two types of exercises for patent document preparation. These are provisional specification and complete specification. Now let's discuss these two. The provisional specification is that which is specified when invention is at initial or conceptual stage. That means a delay is expected in submitting full and specified description of the invention. But here it must be kept in mind that in this stage such patent application does not provide any legal right to the applicant regarding patent grant. But then why it is needed? The reason is very simple. In order to establish the earliest ownership of the invention, this document is very important. So the provisional specification is although submitted at initial stage, but it is permanent, independent, scientific and legal document regarding that patent. So once application is submitted in this specification, then modification is not allowed in the submitted concept. Also, this provisional specification cannot be the basis for patent grant, because only final product or final invention outcome is evaluated for permanent patent grant. Although its concept was submitted in the earlier stage during provisional application to the patent office, but complete specifications are evaluated at the end for the final patent approval. So here it must be noted that once provisional specification is submitted, the complete specifications are needed to be submitted within the 12 months of filing the provisional specification. And also this period can be extended by 3 months if the request is submitted in advance before expiry of this 12-month period. So with this discussion, it is clear that it is not necessary to file an application with provisional specification before the complete specification, but if it is filed, then there is an legal advantage in this case. If there is some dispute regarding patent grant, when two parties are applying for patent regarding similar product or design, so this gives a priority to the applicant over any other person who is likely to file an application with regard to that same invention or same product, which may have been developed in some other part of the world. So let's discuss few exercises that must be correctly filled during preparing patent application. First of all, the names of inventors must be correctly filled in the patent application. Second point is that the title of the draft should be as per specified format and provisions. And the third point is that all specified documents must be accompanied with the patent application. And last very important point is that patent application should be submitted to the respective patent office. Now what are various necessary contents of a complete specification? So the contents of a complete specification must include many factors such as the title of the invention, field to which the invention belongs, background of the invention with respect to drawbacks of the existing inventions or practices. Also, the complete application must include the complete description of the invention along with experimental results, drawings, which are essential for understanding the invention. So in order to specify any specific claim, to to specify any specific claim or statement that must be specified in the patent application, which provides the legal proprietorship right to the inventor. So at the end we can say that the claims have to be drafted very carefully while seeking patent application. I hope you have now thorough understanding of this topic of few exercises on preparing an application seeking a patent. So this was all about today's lecture, where we studied in detail various practical aspects of a patent. As you see on the slide, in the next lecture we shall revise new chapter, that is basics of intellectual property rights. So we shall cover various topics such as introduction of IPRs, justification of IPRs, and classification of IPRs. So we shall discuss these topics with suitable examples in the next lecture. Thank you.